I should have done this video a while back, but I went on vacation and I'm kind of red. I can't lie, I checked the reviews for the Michael Jackson movie before I watched it, and the critics were acting like this thing was a cinematic war crime. So I went in expecting the worst. Then when I actually watched it, I sat there like, this is pretty good. I liked it. I'm a review kind of guy, so I wanted to see what the critics were saying. And they were calling it trash. They were calling it garbage, horrible. So I'm thinking, is it really that bad? And I'm not even a huge Michael Jackson fan like that, but I was bobbing my head in that movie theater. So then I started thinking, I started analyzing the reviews. Why did the critics hate it so much? And it wasn't just one, it was multiple critics that were saying it was really bad. Because you kind of have to look at the controversy, not just about the movie, but around Michael himself. But before I continue, I'm gonna put on one of these, because it's conspiracy theory time. Wow, this is actually so bad. This looks like an actual dick. Yeah, this looks like an actual dick. I'm not gonna wear it because it doesn't look like what I wanted it to look like. From what I've read, a lot of the criticism comes from what the movie didn't include. Apparently, they originally shot a lot more, especially for the third act, but had to redo parts of it because they couldn't include the allegations due to legal issues. Now you know what kind of allegations I'm talking about. And that's where most of the criticism comes from. The critics felt like the movie was being too soft. But personally, I didn't really feel that way at all. The movie still managed to show some really heavy stuff, especially how intense and overbearing his dad was during his childhood. That presence felt like this looming shadow hanging over his entire life. And then there was the Pepsi incident where he burns his scalp. That was pretty intense too. For a life as controversial as Michael's, I don't think the film needed to include the allegations just to feel more gritty or emotionally heavy. And honestly, I thought it was a smart move ending the movie around the 1988 tour. Michael's life is huge. He's arguably the biggest pop star to ever walk the earth. There's so much to cover that focusing on the first half of his life actually makes sense, and it leaves room to tell the rest in a sequel, which they just confirmed. I wrote the scripts and I didn't know there was going to be a sequel until recently. Especially the Jackson 5 era, that alone can honestly carry another movie. It's underrated. But it almost feels like the industry just doesn't like this guy. I know they're just critic reviews, but still, Michael Jackson could never really catch a break, especially in the media. And side note, this whole thing also got me thinking about something else. If Michael Jackson were alive today, going through everything he went through back then, I honestly